Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Gerg, the maniac who cannot stop making redstone Minecraft minigames. And well, I have an announcement. We've hit the big 5-0! Yes, I've officially made 50 Minecraft minigames. And well, to celebrate this arbitrary accomplishment, why not do the not sane thing and autistically rank them in a YouTube convenient tier list? You know, I only have to rank 50 of them. Dodgebolt. The first ever minigame I made on this channel. You shoot arrows over a fence and try to hit the other person, and for every hit, you light up a light. That was it. It was a very simple game with no redstone involved. And well, it sucks. Compared to the other games I've made since, this definitely goes in the E tier. It's just kinda lame. But after Dodgebolt, I came up with a little game called Run, and to this day, it is held up as pretty damn great. The general idea of Run is you and a group of friends take turns running from one end of this tube all the way to the other. With each successful run, you get to place up to 10 blocks in the tube to make it harder for the other people. So for example, I could place blocks right here and then have to jump over this. And of course, with each run, you're racing against these lights on the side to act as a timer. So basically, you make it harder and harder until someone can't do it, to which they are then eliminated. And this is just so much fun because it's so replayable. And for that reason, it has to go into the A tier. It's great. Next up came Color Splat. Oh, Color Splat. It's okay, I guess. It's one of these early minigames, so they end up being really simple. The idea of the game is you and a group of friends fight up to get to the top of this ladder, to which, once you're at the top, you can jump off into the water, and wherever you land, you get to place a piece of wall, and that counts as a point. Landing adjacent to other people's colors lets you replace them with your own color. It's okay. I guess I could stick it in the B tier. It's fun, but eh. After that came Hot Headed, which at the time was the most complicated redstone machine I had ever made. I mean, just take a look at this. This is really simple. Looking back on this is lame. But the general idea of Hot Headed was really simple. You just flick on this switch, you walk in, and lights would basically light up around the side, to which you would then have to dodge the various things from raising you up into the fire above you. Whoa! I think this one does legitimately hold up. There's no real winning to it, but it's pretty fun. It keeps you engaged. Whoa! I'm giving it an A tier. After Hot Headed, I made Battleship. How this version of Battleship worked was real simple. You place note blocks on this gold piece here, and these act as your battleships. And then over on this side, you make guesses by flicking over fence gates. And that's it. I think this is kind of lame, in all honesty. I don't feel like I can give it any higher than a D tier. Out of all the minigames people accuse me of stealing early on, nobody ever accused me of stealing Joust, which shocked me considering how simple of a game it really is. It was just two minecarts either side of a track where you sit in it, hit a button, and charge at one another with swords. The hitboxes were janky, it kinda sucks. E tier, I guess? Who cares? It's Joust. Oh boy, let's talk about Drip Drop, the worst minigame I've ever made. Drip Drop is a game where you had one person with a loyalty trident shooting these dripstone while a bunch of players down below have to dodge the falling dripstone. On premise, it sounds really cool. In practice, this just sucks. What happens if you run out of dripstone? What happens if the players can just easily dodge it? I actually tried to fix it by adding powdered snow and lava, so when the dripstone falls, it actually gets rid of the powdered snow, making it harder for the players. This did not fix the game. It just sucks. It's an utter failure, and for that reason, it goes in the F tier. But before I continue, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Wondershare Recoverit. I don't know about you guys, but I have a problem. I'm Gerg, and I'm a deleteaholic. Seriously, I'm always emptying my PC's trash can, only to later find out that I've accidentally permanently destroyed the last known copy of Govertflink's 1638 masterpiece, Landscape with Obelisk. Don't you hate it when that happens? But don't worry, with Wondershare Recoverit, restoring lost or deleted content on your computer has never been easier. With only a couple of clicks, I can scan all of my storage drives and find all sorts of things I thought I had lost forever. Minecraft worlds, pictures, old videos. I mean, check this out. Doot, doot, doot. And just like that, the art world is saved forever. You can thank me by heading over to the link on screen or in the description and downloading Wondershare Recoverit now for free. After that, I made Hungry Hungry Hooks, which stylistically is still one of my favourite games. The general idea is players stand either side on all these platforms and with fishing rods try to hook villagers and pigs into their goal. This generally worked pretty well, but it really depends on how much fun you can get from simply just trying to fish mobs. I think it's okay. As a minigame, it's utterly serviceable and middle of the road, and that's why it belongs in C tier. Talking about uninspired, boring minigames, let's talk about Bowman Blitz. The premise of Bowman Blitz is real simple. You have a bow, you are a man, and then you just shoot target blocks as they appear around this town. And for each hit you get, it appears on this LED counter. As minigames go, it's very, very, very average. It's not bad, but it's something you do once and then move on and never play again. C tier. Bomberman, Bomberman, Bomberman. Do what to a man? This one is pretty good. The general idea is you just have a bunch of people in each one of the corners with a bunch of TNT, and you just run around placing TNT to, try and explode the other people while carving out the actual terrain. Either way, it's very chaotic and a ton of fun. While this one isn't as good as I remember, it's still pretty good. B tier. Anvil Drop. This one is interesting because I believe this is the only minigame on this island I did not do the redstone for, and as a result, it's utterly broken. It uses scaffolding to put redstone signals upwards, which I think is really unreliable and terrible. I would never design this redstone they use brick. Who uses brick? This is So how does it actually play? Well, very simply, you have two people in these chambers to which they run left and right, hitting buttons where it's supposed to launch anvils over to the other side, hopefully crushing the other person. Unfortunately, the redstone is pretty terrible, and you'll notice that even in the short time I've been playing, this slime is retracted and just screwed up. For this reason alone, it has to go in E tier, for simply being erroneously bad! Talking about awful minigames, let's talk about Bull's Hide, a minigame so bad I've actually elected scaffolding around it in hopes that I will actually replace it with something better one day. Because this just sucks. It's terrible. This game works by you having a bow and you have to hit the target, but you also have to move your target left and right to hopefully dodge it from the enemy person. All this time you're spending moving it is just time they could spend shooting it. So it just doesn't work. This is a stupid idea. What was I thinking? F tier. F tier. Next up is Scrabble. D tier. The next minigame I made was something called Burnout, and for the longest time, this was the largest minigame I had ever made, being that it requires this giant multicolored tube. How this one works is using elytras and lava buckets. As a group, you fly from one end all the way to the other, placing lava on the roof or wherever, while dodging the lava with your elytra. And this one is genuinely quite dynamic and quite a bit of fun. And for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it in the B tier. So with Burnout, that sort of ends the early era of Gerg minigames, and they do get a bit more complicated from here, as I started to make long-form videos on them. The first of which was Overflow, and this one was definitely a favourite at the time. I'm not going to go over all the exact rules because it's a bit complicated. The general idea is you place down powder and then using pistons you have to knock your opponent's powder off. However, it obviously shifts the board around as you do that. This one has genuinely quite a lot of strategy to it. Oh, you also have blocker tokens using chests and furnaces which can block the push of pistons on the lateral directions. It legitimately had a lot of strategy to it, and as a result, I think it has to go into the S tier. This was the first minigame I made where it was something special. After Overflow came the Tower of Babel, which my friends say is actually a ton of fun. However, it's my list, and I have always hated this one, and I think it sucks. The idea of Tower of Babel is one player stands at the top with a lightning trident, while the other people using sand have to try and build their way out. While the player with the lightning trident just throws tridents at them and kills them a bunch. But, there's no way they can stop sand from being placed, so eventually they just die anyway. So it's just something to keep you busy for 10 minutes and no one's, a winner. They insisted that I put this in the A tier. The A tier! It's a bunch of sand in a pit! I'm not putting this one in the A tier! It's a bunch of sand in a pit! You're wrong! So it's going in the E tier! The next minigame is called Lights Out, and while I really like the look and the name of this one, the truth is, this one also really sucks. The idea is you have two people competing either side, and they basically just grab snowballs from this machine, and then they have to throw it at the light, and if they turn on light, it turns it off on their opponent's side. Whoever has the majority of lights when the timer runs out gets a TNT dropped on them, to which they can hide behind this obsidian block to minimize the damage, so they only take a bit. The minigame is fine, but in good conscience, I cannot put it any higher than D tier. And while we're on a string of just bad, god-awful mini-games, let's talk about Pixel Painter, where you basically... this is so bad. Someone stands at the top and makes a drawing out of powdered concrete powder, and then layer by layer they drop it, and then the players below have to guess what the drawing is. But the issue with that is it's crappy Pictionary. E tier. Moving on. Who cares? Next up is Bangmington. Basically what it is each person stands in either the blue corner or the red corner and they cannot leave their side. Then using knockback bows of healing, they can shoot creepers around, and the idea is to blow up your opponent. It's so simple, but it's a ton of fun and it's super chaotic. I think I'm gonna put it in the A tier. Behind me stands a game called Track Attack. My friends hate Track Attack. They say, Gerg, Track Attack sucks. Gerg, Track Attack's the worst minigame you've ever made. Gerg, you should honestly just blow up Track Attack, it's that bad. What is so bad about it? It's got a great logo, it's got a great name.
No, you can't change the fact, it's just not fun. It's not fun, you need to let it go. You need to let it go.
I don't think it's that good. I just don't think it's terrible, alright? I'm saying it's like a 4 out of 10. And you know what? They're wrong. They're wrong. For years now, for literal years, I have been defending Track Attack as not awful. It's not great, but it's not that bad. Stop it! Stop blowing it up! The idea is you just stand here, and then the game turns on and you have TNT minecarts to which you have to dodge them. And then using a crossbow, you also have chests which spawn where you have to shoot them as well. It's a neat idea. It's not that bad. Screw you, Phobos. It's going in E tier. It's going in E tier. Rooster! Out of this dropper, it would eject a potion, and then the players would look at it and go, oh, what's the yellow potion? That's a potion of strength, I think. And then they would have to race to brew it first, using this brewing stand. I think nowadays it's a bit lame, because it is just brewing, and once you know how to make the potions, it's kind of a bit crappy. So I think I'm going to stick it in D tier. Get off my lawn! Is the name of the next minigame. How this one works is real simple. You hit the button, and then these barriers start hitting back and forth. Now each player is confined to one of their quadrants. Using a knockback sword, which I'm sure by now you're aware I am quite a fan of, they have to knock armor stands into the other player's quadrants. Now here's the thing, each armor stand is worth 1 point, with the helmeted ones being worth 2. Except, you don't want the most points, you want the least. Whoever has the least amount of points or armor stands in their quadrant is the winner. So it's a sort of back and forth thing. It's not the best game in the world, but I think it's decent. B tier. Here in the casino men's bathroom, there is actually a minigame called Buckshot Roulette. and this was one of the most complicated minigames I had made at the time. This was originally based off an indie game of the same name, Buckshot Roulette. I'm not going to explain exactly how it works because there's a lot of little features to make it work, but it's sort of like a more advanced gamified version of Russian roulette against two people. The novelty of this game was to show that I could do it in Minecraft rather than it being a really fun game to begin with. So I'm going to stick it in D tier for that reason. Outcast was a minigame involved around a very niche game mechanic of being able to use fishing rods on falling concrete powder. And the entire minigame was built around that because it's not very fun. The whole idea is concrete powder is launched in the center, then using fishing rods, players can fish it into their goal. I think the pink are worth 2 points and the green are worth 1. In addition, you can use the fishing rod to fish your opponent off to delay them slightly, so you can then fish it all by yourself. C tier. Quick Draw was a nifty little minigame where 2 players on half a heart stand either end of this minigame, and after a random amount of time, it launches a crossbow fully loaded for you, and first person to shoot the other person dead wins. Real simple. The most notable part of this minigame is the note block song I made. Take a listen. That's the most notable part. C tier. This is a minigame called MLG Smackdown. This is a minigame I made because I felt like I had to make a minigame and it sucks and I have nothing to say about it. In these chests you have different tiers of how hard it is to do an MLG. As you're falling, you have to fall, you have to catch yourself. First person to not catch themselves 3 times loses. Moving on, E tier. I hate it. Bye. Guitar Hero, to this day, is one of my favorite minigames and yet one of the least viewed videos on the entire channel. This uses a very niche mechanic of holding different items towards different villages, which activates redstone signals, and I use that to play different notes on falling powder. It's an incredibly complicated minigame I had to figure out all by myself, and was later basically stolen from me by Branzycraft, who made minor modifications and got way more views than me. I don't act salty about it. He's completely fine to take my minigame and modify it however he wants. I just think it would have been nice if he at least invited me on the video to play it. Oh, you'll have a guy called Clown Pierce on, but not Gerg. I guess Gerg's not popular enough for you, huh? I only designed it. Disconnect 5 was like Connect 4 but with concrete powder and also TNT. It was nearly impossible to win a game because the TNT was too powerful. This one goes in the E tier. Guess Who was Guess Who, where instead of faces, you have different blocks. So you can ask questions such as, does your block naturally spawn? Or, is your block present in the nether? This was a minigame which I came up with, and I was surprised nobody had ever thought to do this before. It seemed so obvious, it was shocking to me. I'm putting this one in the A tier. Interdimensional Pong is a game where you fling minecarts through a nether portal and try to get it into your opponent's goal while they simultaneously place down minecarts while destroying your own. It's a game of back and forth. Kinda chaotic and sucked at the time, but thank God Mojang updated how minecarts and nether portals worked and improved the game vastly. I'm gonna put this in the B tier. Smart Gallery was at the time the most complicated minigame I had ever made out of redstone. Unfortunately, it kinda sucks. This is kind of a case of proving I could do something rather than if I should do something. It's basically a big memory game where players stand around and eventually this central portrait will open up. You'll have to remember that pattern for as long as you can and then try and rebuild it in this frame over here. And then the redstone does a whole bunch of fancy evaluation to see who was the closest. It's just a fancy memory game, and for that reason, I can't put it any higher than D tier. This minigame is called Lawnmower and was based off a British schoolyard game called British Bulldog, which was banned in schools for injuring kids all the time. Basically using armor stands and knockback swords, yes, once again, players have to get from one side to the other while a player in the boat, breaking lily pads, tries to stop them. Players go back and forth until there's only one person remaining. If your armor stand falls in the water, you're out and join the boaters team. C tier. Move Hit was a game based around conveyor belts, where players have to move left and right, dodging the walls which have a slightly bigger hitbox to try and stay alive and not get pushed into the lava back here. All while throwing tridents at these random target blocks across the arena which would push pistons down and block their opponent's movement on the other side. Minecraft physics are too buggy, so it has to go into the... It has to go into like the F tier. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the modern Gerg era of minigames, where they have never been more advanced, more time intensive, and there's never been more redstone than where they are right now. Honey Money. This game is okay. The general idea is items fall down on this big honey wall, and the player using note blocks has to move their little platform from left and right to collect them. But you don't want to collect the evil TNT, for if you do so, you lose a life. Once you lose all 3 hearts, the game ends and you collect your winnings in the barrel behind you. It's a really simple idea with decent execution. Unfortunately, there's a bit too much delay on moving the platform that it can make it feel a bit janky to play. If that could be improved, it would definitely go up, but as it stands, I'm thinking it's a C tier. Oh, waiter! Waiter! Can I have more broken, crappy minigames, please? Oh, sure! Let's talk about ice hockey. Now, for those of you who've watched the ice hockey video, you will know the utter dismay and pain I went through trying to get this game to work. I tried using knockback swords, I tried using wind charges, I tried just straight up cheating using command blocks, but unfortunately, Minecraft boat physics are the worst thing in the world. Obviously, how the game's meant to work is boats are on the ground and you're using knockback sticks, you have to hit into the enemy goal. That's how it's meant to work, but it doesn't, because screw me, I guess. F tier. Gasketball, gasketball, gasketball. This one's alright. Obviously, this was meant to use the happy gas when they first came out, and the idea is of course based on basketball, where the happy gas is the ball. Using knockback bows, fishing rods, and wind charges, the idea is to obviously get the happy gas through the goal, with the score being recorded over there. I think it was first to 3 to win. The one thing about basketball is you kind of need to put it in the opposite way round, where the gas needs to go up through the hoop. It's just something about the physics, but it works. I honestly think it's pretty good. A tier. Shelldown is a game entirely based around animal abuse. How this one works is players spawn armadillos, and the whole idea of the game is while staying on their side, they want the armadillo to die on the opponent's side. Players are given shovels of various sharpness ratings so they can deal damage to the armadillo without their opponent knowing just how much they've dealt. So there's a bit of bluffing involved as well. I'm going to give this one B tier. Mother Clucker was entirely based around the fact that I have never made a 3-player minigame before, and as you can see, I really struggled to get the triangle down. This minigame involves knocking people off this triangle as you want to remain on top, so using seeds you can lead chickens into your area. First person to collect 20 chickens is the winner. D tier. It's kind of lame. There's nothing else to say about it. Pigskin was a minigame based around American football, where 2 teams, the Beta Bucks or the Vomit Vultures, need to get a pig over to their opponent's touchdown area. This is done by riding the pig with a carrot and a stick, but obviously the enemy team will try and stop you, using swords, shields, or even cobwebs. I'm going to give this one a C tier. It's a bit too easy to just murder each other. I wish there was a bit more strategy in it. Okay, let's talk about it. Chegg. Chegg is undoubtedly S tier. It is one of the best minigames I have ever made. The amount of strategy involved, how much love it has gotten from the community cannot be understated. I have been emailed things where people have printed off the cards involved in Chegg in real life. People have made their own homebrew versions. Someone constructed a website with their own version of rules, which is beautifully detailed. People have even coded Chegg into separate games. It has received that much love. I'm not going to explain how Chegg works just because it's too complicated. Just know that this has been a runaway success, and it's probably my favorite minigame to this day. S tier, S tier, S tier. Fork Off was a game inspired by Bed Wars and tridents. Players basically have to kill each other using tridents while also collecting the other player's tridents and then using those tridents as currency to buy other things to help them try and destroy or protect each other's diamond blocks present above. According to my friends, this game sucked. This game sucked and they didn't care for it. So, all my efforts have gone to waste. D tier. The Google dinosaur jumping minigame. It's okay, I guess. It's not the coolest thing in the world. This is another case of thinking if I could rather than if I should. It's neat, but I don't think anyone would play this more than once out of sheer novelty. So for that reason, it's going in the C tier. Clanker Strike. This is a game where two players using copper golems have to rush to build materials, craft PvP gear, and then when two copper golems meet, they have to fight to the death. Whoever wins the PvP duel kills their opponent's copper golem. If I could give this any sort of criticism, I would say that it's too PvP dependent. A good PvP player can just entirely ignore the strategy of the board game in favor of their just good PvP skills. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it a C tier. Okay, let's talk about Descendant. Descendant! Undoubtedly S tier. Let's get it out the way right now. It belongs nowhere else than S tier for just the sheer size and ambition alone. This took me over a month to construct and build, and with massive community help to design some of these rooms, it has really come together to make just an amazing, memorable experience for, I'm sure, many people. For somehow the uninitiated, Descendant was a massive roguelike dungeon experience I built in Minecraft, with various random loopholes, gear, different rooms, biomes. Hell, it even had a giant boss battle you had to kill. Which, to be fair, if I could give any criticism to Descendant, the boss battle undoubtedly was the weakest area of it. I wish the boss battle was more dependent on the gear you brought with you, because as it currently seems, I've seen people beat this boss in 30 seconds, which is a bit of a shame. My Minecraft minigame has entertained people for more than people play real video games. And I think that's a damn bloody good accomplishment. So I can't put it anywhere lower than S tier. And that brings us to the final minigame in the modern day. My most recent one, Hurtle Turtle. I'm not going to explain the rules of this one because it's still brand new. You can just watch the video on it. I do think it's a lot better than some of my early minigames, but unfortunately, because the original version didn't pay off very well and I had to sort of rework it into something else, it's a bit stunted because of that. So I'm going to give it a B tier. And that's the whole list. Every Minecraft minigame I've ever made in a tier list. Okay, so I did miss out on like 4 games, but that's just because I didn't have a lot to say about them, and to be completely honest, they're all F tier anyway. Here they are on screen if you really care. If you would like to download Minigame Bay or download for any individual minigame, it can be found on my Discord. I was going to make this video sooner, but I kept putting it off. And before I knew it, I had 50 of the damn things to rank. But it's done now. I can sleep easy. But Gerg, you forgot to rank Slasher.